people, let's talk about 5 reasons why your natural hair is not growing. So point number 1, you're tearing your hair out. You're using fine tooth combs in your curly or coily natural hair that hasn't been moisturized. You shouldn't even be using fine tooth combs in your hair. I get so emotional, I think I'm gonna cry. Please moisturize your hair before you detangle it. If you're natural who can just use plain old water in her hair, or you can use okra water for example, then by all means necessary use that and then detangle your hair. But don't be out here detangling dry hair with a fine tooth comb. That's crazy. That's a recipe for disaster. So please don't do that. Instead, moisturize your hair. So you do your LOC, your LCO, your LO, your LC, whatever you want to call it. You do that, and then you go in with a wide tooth comb, not a fine tooth comb, a wide tooth comb, and then you take your time and you detangle your hair. Or you can do what I like to do, and some other naturals will like to do this as well. You can finger detangle your hair, but be very gentle when you're doing this. Let's hop on to point number 2. You're not moisturizing your hair at all. So you're out here combing dry hair. If your hair is dry, it will break off more. More breakage equals to less length retention. Less length retention equals to less visible growth. So please, moisturize your hair. I beg you. Point number 3. You're using someone else's regimen. So let's say that I come across a natural hair influencer who washes her hair every week. She does a protein treatment every 4 to 6 weeks. She uses sweet argan oil in her natural hair, and she wears braids as her protective style, like braids with the false hair. And I know for a fact that I should not be out here washing my hair every week, because that just doesn't work for me. I know for a fact that braids and my hair don't get along, and I know that sweet argan oil doesn't work for my hair, and I know that I'm protein sensitive, but yet I choose to mimic her recipe, not her recipe. I choose to mimic her regimen. From her wash day videos, go straight down to how she take care of her hair, the protective styles, and I know that it doesn't work for me. What do you think is gonna happen? My hair will suffer. I won't be able to retain the length that I am really capable of retaining, because I'm using someone else's regimen. I'm not doing what my hair needs. So please, in everything that you do, remember your hair. So not because I use olive oil means that you must use olive oil. No, use what works for your hair. Find or try to be more observant as to what your hair really loves. Stick with that. Use products that work for your hair. Find a routine that works for you through trial and error, of course, and stick with it. Okay, let's move on to point number 4. You're not setting realistic expectations. So you have 12 inches of hair, right? And you're telling yourself that by December 2025, your 12 inches of hair will transform into 30 inches. Hello, wake up. That is not a realistic expectation at all. That's not practical. No, don't do that to yourself. Set realistic expectations, please. Yes, because some of us tend to come up with some interesting expectations that they're not even possible. I'm being honest. You don't want to disappoint yourself like that, so set realistic goals and expectations. Let's move on to tip number 5. You're not taking care of your hair ends. No, I've been guilty of this for some time now. I fixed it though, but for a long while I wasn't taking care of my hair ends, and guess what? were breaking off. They were. Sad. I'm glad I'm past that though. So please, if you need to moisturize them more often, do that. If you need to use like flaxseed gel, you add more shea butter or add more product to the ends of your hair, please do that, because they are the oldest part of your hair and they are very susceptible to breakage more than the other parts of your hair. And if you get a lot of breakage at your hair ends, you will get more split ends. And if you have a lot of split ends, you will have to trim your hair more often. So take care of your hair ends, okay? Yes. Tip number 6. How much tips to me this away though? 5? Well, I guess this is a bonus one. Or is this really tip number 5? Sometimes I can't count. But anywho, it doesn't hurt to give you guys extra tips. Don't trim your hair unless you really need to. Yeah, I said it. So if your hair ends are healthy, if they are full, if you don't have a lot of split ends, because split ends are inevitable. I mean, friction and that type of fun stuff. Our hair is constantly, I'm not gonna go into science of that, but it's impossible to not have split ends, but you can control the amount that you have, if that makes sense. So if you have a lot, like enough, trim them. If it's like 1 or 2, then leave them alone, bro. That's fine. You won't die. Your hair ends are fine. But if you have a lot, then trim your hair. So remember your hair growth journey, even if it's not a perfect one. I mean, mine has been far from perfect. Even if it's not perfect, it's still worth going through it, you know. You learn a lot as you go by, and as long as you are observant, as long as you are patient, you will see amazing results. If you haven't joined my hair growth challenge, be sure to join it. It starts on January 19 and it will run for 6 beautiful months. Remember, be patient, treat your hair like it's a baby. Try to be more mindful of the stuff that you do to your hair and with your hair, and I'm sure that you will see a lot of length retention and a lot of growth for this year and the years to come. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.